Plastic is wonderful because it's durable, and plastic is terrible because it is durable. Almost every piece of plastic ever made is still on the planet in some form or another. Plastic production globally this year is expected to be more than 300 million tonnes.
Half of which we'll use just once and then throw away. By 2050, when the population explodes to almost 10 billion people, it's expected that plastic production will triple. The problem with that is that today only a fraction of the plastic that we produce is recycled. The rest ends up in our environment, and it's coating our land and our oceans like a disease.
Garbage thrown away in the United States can make its way to Antarctica. Plastic in our coastal waters is pulled into the centre of massive wind-driven, churning circular gyres. There are many other ocean currents also diverting the trash all around the surface of the ocean. In reality, it's just one ocean with no boundaries. Lord Howe Island is a World Heritage Site and home to migratory seabirds like the shearwater. Seabirds are incredibly helpful because they act like an army of scientists. They travel thousands of miles across the ocean. They pick up plastic off the surface of the ocean. They bring it back to their rookeries where they feed it to their chicks. Dr. Jennifer Lavers, she'd devoted her life to studying the plight of seabirds. Shearwaters are incredible birds. They migrate thousands of miles, stopping only here to breed.
Yeah, the stomach is very, very full, and if we look here, there's some very dark pieces, some very light white pieces, and if you see, as I push on this, it's absolutely rigid, completely full of plastic all the way up.
Oh, look at that.
Absolutely no doubt that this bird died as a result of that plastic. That is literally a gut full of plastic. It's quite alarming, isn't it?
Oh, that's awful.
Range of plastic types and colours. We've got everything from the blues and the reds
His
to the
stomach's just filled with it. Big pieces too.
big
like
sharp
heavy.
pieces.
Oh wow, look at the size of that big black piece.
That is an enormous piece of plastic.
Unbelievable. Look at the size of that. Jen, I counted 234 pieces of plastic out of that one bird. Is that a record?
Not even close, unfortunately. So for the species, the record is 276 pieces of plastic inside of one 90-day-old chick. And that plastic, when we weighed it out, accounted for 15% of that bird's body mass. So that's a pretty scary statistic. If we translate that into human terms, it gets even worse. That would be equivalent to you and I having somewhere around 6 or 8 kilos of plastic inside of your stomach. It's equivalent to about 12 pizzas worth of food inside of your stomach. It's quite a bit of plastic for just one little bird. The parents were trying to do the right thing. There's a lot of squid beaks in here, and this purple colour is evidence of the squid ink. It's just a shame that every now and then they got it wrong and got it wrong in a bad way. Really is quite an overwhelming thing. I do have some pretty rough days, have to go home and really wrap my mind around where do we go from here.
As a Pacific Islander, I know that the ocean is in deep trouble. The very authoritative prediction shows that by the year 2050, there'll be as much plastic as there is fish in the ocean by weight. Every country uses plastic. We need to start rationalizing that. We need to think about reuse of plastic, single-use plastic. It's got to be on its way out. And you know, plastic shopping bags are a good example of that. Your family does not need to use them. Take a cloth bag with you when you go shopping and put your shopping in there. There's an equivalent of a large garbage truck every minute of every day backing up to the ocean and just dumping plastic into it. We really have to look at ourselves and say, do we deserve this beautiful ocean that was given to us?
Hello, this is Mr. Reinhard. So we saw something just now that probably didn't make you feel too good. But just like the representative to the United Nations from Fiji said, we have to find some kind of a solution to this major problem because we are just putting so much plastic into the oceans. So can you think of a solution? What are some ways that we can fix this problem? And in a way, can we think of a way to kind of clean up the plastic that's already there? All right, now that you're done discussing, I want to see what someone did as a solution, okay? A lot of times we talk about, we got problems in this world, but then there's nothing that ever happens. What do we do about it, okay? Well, this is one case where one man got up and said, you know what? I think we can solve this. Had an idea, invented something, got a team together, started a company, and went out there and is actually making progress, cleaning up the world's mess.
All right. We've got an amazing new invention to show to you today. Rivers are like the arteries that carry the trash from land to sea. When it rains, plastic washes from street to creek to river to ocean. And to be clear, I mean, this is all real. It's completely insane. What we need is a product. One integrated system that you can bring anywhere in the world, install within days, and that just works. That's the missing piece. That's what we need to close the tap, and it doesn't exist. Until today. What you're seeing behind me is the Ocean Cleanup's Interceptor. Let's bring on the rubber duckies. All right. Follow me, guys. So welcome aboard. This is the Interceptor. And if we then follow me to the front. So the way the Interceptor works is that the system is anchored to the riverbed and makes use of the natural flow of the river. Now, the first thing that the plastic encounters when it's flowing through the river is the barrier, which you see over here, which guides the plastic to the mouth of the Interceptor. So this is the barrier, plastic comes here, and then what you see over here is the conveyor belt, which then scoops the plastic out of the water. And then it arrives at the position It has ultrasonic sensors to measure how much debris.
Our oceans are filling with plastic. But where does it come from? The answer? Rivers, primarily. Every day, they carry not just water and sediments, but also lots of plastic into the ocean. There are more than 100,000 rivers on our planet, but not all of them contribute equally to the problem. Early efforts to map river plastic by many research groups, including the Ocean Cleanup, concluded that only a very small number of large rivers, perhaps as little as 10, are responsible for most of the pollution. This was determined by estimating the total amount of plastic pollution generated in each river basin. But not all plastic has the same chance of making it to the ocean. Variables such as climate, terrain, waste management practices, the distance plastic needs to travel to reach a river, and then the ocean are all of influence. By including these factors and the results from dozens of measurement campaigns, a much more nuanced picture evolves. More than 1,000 rivers are responsible for 80% of ocean plastic pollution, 100 times more than previously estimated. Instead of a few great rivers, we now believe that many rivers, including small rivers running through dense coastal cities in emerging economies, form the world's plastic hotspots. While the number of 1,000 rivers may seem immense, this is only 1% of all rivers included in the study. This means that a targeted approach could drastically reduce the world's river plastic emissions. The Ocean Cleanup has already begun working with governments and partners around the world to apply the right solutions to the right rivers and encourages others to take part. Together, we can clean our rivers and rid the world's oceans of plastic. Explore the 1,000 most polluting rivers and see how you can help at theoceancleanup.com.
Hello, this is Mr. Reinhardt. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that video was talking about. The 1,000 dirtiest rivers in the world in terms of plastic emission. So what do you think? What countries are going to be the dirtiest? Now, one thing I want you to take a look at is as we use this counter of how many kilograms of plastic have entered the ocean, will continue to go up. This is how much plastic has entered the ocean on average since we started looking at this page. So you can see every second it's going up by like, what, 50 or 40 or 50 kilograms, which would be about 80 pounds. So if you take a look at the United States, first of all, there aren't very many rivers that are coming up with this red circle. There's only one that I can see, and that is over here in New York. So like there's one river over by New York City that's putting out a lot of plastic, one of the 1,000 dirtiest rivers in the world. All right, so we need to take a look at that and get that fixed. But everywhere else, I mean, still unacceptable to have any amount of garbage entering the ocean. We're responsible for all of these dots that you see here. That's all bad. But the 1,000 dirtiest, all right, they're contributing to 80% of that plastic. So where are most of those 1,000 dirty rivers? Well, you can take a look. Central America, we got a lot of the Central American countries, also Haiti and Dominican Republic, some here in Venezuela, Colombia, Brazil, all around here. Lots of dirty rivers in Brazil. All right, Chile is doing a pretty good job. Doesn't look like any are down there. Peru looks pretty good. You know, certain countries in South America are doing all right. Africa got a number of countries here that are putting out lots of plastic. Nigeria is a big one. Togo, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Guinea, Cameroon, the Republic of the Congo, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Tanzania, some in South Africa. There are others. I'm not listing all of them, obviously. Turkey's a big one. Greece, looks like Croatia. But most of Europe, pretty clean over there in Europe. They're, I mean, compared to some other places around the world, they don't have as dirty of rivers as, for example, parts of the Caribbean, South America, and Africa. India, though, look at that. Okay, So almost all of the rivers in India are this really bright red color. Oh, and as we continue to go, almost all of Southeast Asia and East Asia, I mean, mostly China, actually putting a lot of plastic garbage into the ocean, as well as the Philippines. We have Indonesia, island of Jakarta, so the island of Java, which is the most densely populated island in the world. Also Malaysia, we talked a lot about them. And I literally have a picture that I took behind me of one of the 1,000 dirtiest rivers in the world. Well, I didn't take the picture because I thought it was dirty, although in fact, it doesn't even look dirty, but it does come up on here. So this river, this picture of this river was taken right around here somewhere. So it ends up coming up. I think it's that one right there. It would have been up in here somewhere. So that's that river. And if you click, you can click on any of these rivers. But you know, that's a lot of weight. That'd be about 200,000 pounds or more than 200,000 pounds of plastic, they estimate, enters the ocean from this one river only every year. So it's a big problem when you think about it's not just one river, it's a bunch of rivers, but also when you think about the fact that it's certain countries. So there's a few different things we want to discuss about this. For example, why would some countries be more red than others? Why would India, China, Vietnam, Philippines, and Malaysia, for example, create so much more plastic garbage coming out of the rivers of their country than other countries? Okay, so we're going to talk about that and then activity and then one more video. Enjoy. What problems do you see with the Ocean Cleanups Interceptor, and what solutions can you think of that would solve that? And I'm looking for you guys to invent something new here. Can you think of a new solution, a new idea that we can come up with that would meet the Ocean Cleanups Interceptor and really improve on the system?